My name is Scott, and welcome to the Starlight Car, video game choo-choo's own special parlor to wind down, relax, and talk with our friends in the gaming world. Joining me in the parlor this episode is Alec Robbins to talk about his 2018 game, Heartbreak High. This conversation does include some spoilers, so if you've been waiting to play it and want to give it a shot first, it's only $5 on Steam and at alecrobbins.itch.io. Our theme song for Starlight Car is a quote super chill remix of Aquamarine by Magic Circuit, which is available off their newest self-titled album, Magic Circuit. You can follow them at Magic Circuit on Twitter for more information. Go ahead and kick back, grab a drink, and join us for some fun conversation. So, I think I'm just going to say, hey, I'm Scott from videogamechoochoo.com, and I'm here with my guest, Alec, and then maybe I'll do like a prelude thing that I record before this.
What kind of prelude thing? Just more introducing me?
Yeah, do a lot more introducing, add a couple more information things. I don't know.
Information things, yeah. I mean, I can cover that, I guess. My name's Alec Robbins. I made a game called Heartbreak High last year or so.
That's exciting.
And I think that's why you wanted me on. I do other stuff too. I work in the TV industry. I just finished working on a new season of the Eric Andre show.
Nice.
What else? I don't know. I make comics. That's it. I do comedy from time to time.
Nice.
In whatever form I feel most comfortable doing at the moment.
I've never seen your comics before, actually.
Oh, please go to alec.land and buy a copy of Show Me Less Like This. I'm going to do my plugs up front here. It's a little sci-fi dystopia. It's like a very short comic about a future where an algorithm runs the government.
That's cool.
And it's good. I was proud of it. I still am.
Nice. You mentioned you worked in TV before. I don't know if you want to share anything from this, but I know you worked a little bit on I Think You Should Leave.
I did.
Which, is there any, like, we could probably cut this out if you want, but are there like any stories from that were like particularly fun? You know.
I know. It's funny, like when you're working on it, they're all boring to you, but then like anything, if you're like a fan of a TV show, you're like, oh, that's cool. And I'm like, no, it's just Saturday or whatever. I quit that show. I guess it's fine to talk about a little bit. I'm not going to get into the details, but
yeah, that's fine.
I just had some work disagreements and I left when there was a week left of filming.
That's a good way to go, honestly.
It was. I sent an email to most of the crew with like a fake in memoriam of everyone who quit or got fired from that show, which was maybe a little like shitty of me to do, but I kept it like pretty harmless and funny, I thought.
Yeah.
I didn't attack anybody in it.
Sometimes when you burn your bridges, it can be pretty fun.
Yeah. I burned one bridge. I burned exactly one bridge. I think every other bridge agreed with me.
Extremely fair.
But no, that show was fun. I do think every sketch suffered on its way to the screen. I think on paper they were all funnier. And yet the show's still incredibly funny.
It was great.
We're in a good spot. Yeah.
I loved it a lot.
It came out great.
You were the first person who mentioned it, and because of you mentioning it, I went along and watched it and was like, hey, this thing's pretty good. And then like a week later, it blew up.
Oh yeah, it really did. I don't think anyone expected it to be big because we were all working on it like, hey, these sketches are actually pretty funny, because we work on shows that are like, they range from like pretty good to nobody's going to watch this.
Right.
And I think we usually assume no one's going to watch it. and we were all like, oh, this show's like funny. It sucks that no one's going to watch it. We didn't consider that like it would become a hit. But yeah, that was fun.
Let's talk a little bit about your game that came out a little over a year ago, Heartbreak High.
Yeah, of course.
Sort of an anti-visual novel in a way.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so that was like the genesis. All right, let's explain it real fast. Heartbreak High is, instead of a dating simulator, it's a breakup simulator.
Right.
And so the idea is you'll start off, you're at a high school and you're dating everybody in the high school. That's up to you to fill in the gaps of how that's happened or why you've done it.
Right.
Why you've decided to start a relationship with everybody. Whether they all know or whether it's a secret, you can roleplay that however you want. But the gameplay is navigating dialogue trees to break up with everybody as carefully as possible, because if you're too mean, if you're too sexy, if you're too selfish, you will lose the game because there's little meters tracking your behavior.
It says you lose your mission, which is probably the funniest thing to me.
Mission. I should have like played with the presentation a little more and made it more serious.
Add some waypoints and like a nasty sergeant over the radio.
Some snake codecs, yeah.
Oh shit, that's got to be Heartbreak High too. You got to add codecs.
It's all codec based.
This game, like I mentioned before, definitely feels a lot like an anti-visual novel in a lot of different ways, presentation-wise. Like, visual novels usually want you to take your time, explore them as much as you can. This one gives you a straight-up 40-minute timer where you have to get through it as fast as possible, which is like a really fun way to think of it, but you explore it a lot of the same ways as you would any other visual novel, like going through all these different characters, learning all about them, and then instead of developing those relationships over time, you're trying to end it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, no, that was definitely intentional. It's this idea of, okay, well, what can you do with the visual novel format? And one way to fuck with it is to make it into an arcade game. Like, there's no save points in this game,
right?
And it really I didn't even put unlockables in there. It's just you play through and you do as well as you can in one run,
right?
But it was also meant to be just a game you can play in your browser at first, and then it got a little bigger than that. So it was never intended to be like a game where you stop and save your progress and then get back to the next day. But yeah, like there's a lot of like pressure now with this overall countdown when you're trying to make these decisions, and at the beginning you're more careless, and then you see that number getting smaller and you start to speed up, and maybe you start saying the wrong thing. And
right,
it started, honestly, if you're interested, it started as a very small concept for a web series I was going to make with some friends.
Oh, that's real cool.
I was really just going to have my friends help me make it. It would have been a show where every episode I make a different bad video game and then have people on to play test it. And I think like what's insane about this is I started like 3 small crappy video games. One of them was like 100 Puppies, I think it was called, and it was a platformer where you control 100 dogs at the same time.
That's pretty good.
Thanks. It was actually, that's like, I could release a little bit of that. There were no like graphical implementations, but it was definitely like a playable game for like 8 levels. And then there was another one where I think you were just going to move the map of a platformer. That was too similar, but like your character would stand still and the map would move around them.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, there might still be something there.
I bet that game exists somewhere.
Yeah, I think I actually saw like a similar idea out there, and I figured, okay, well, they did it. That's fine. Yeah, what's insane is I had like this folder on my computer called Playtest, which was going to be the name of the show, and then like these separate folders for all these small little games I was working on for it.
Right.
And Heartbreak High was one of them, and then that one just like became a full game.
Yeah.
But through its entire process, it stayed in that subfolder next to these like 4 other unfinished games. Like it didn't get its own folder on my computer. It was, yeah, always intended to be this smaller thing that ballooned out.
Was one of the reasons that didn't really come together maybe because like developing video games is hard and might take a long time?
Well, yeah, like part of the scope of the project was that they would all have to be really quick and tiny and like slapdash and look as bad as they would play. But I mean, like if you commit to that and you're like developing, like if you set a scope for yourself, which even with this game I did, like once I decided to make it larger, it's very possible to finish something if you know exactly how big it's going to be. And Heartbreak High, like I had a list of possible characters you'd have to break up with, and then I sort of did like a tree for all of them, like the path you would take to get through all of them, and then cut anyone that didn't fit in there. And then from that point on, I knew exactly how long the game was going to be.
Nice.
And I had a roadmap for the entire thing from start of development to end of development, which made it very easy to like just hunker down and finish.
Nice. Compared
to other projects, which can get more meandering, yeah.
Right. I played through it just a little bit recently. I went and did a full, I finally did the thing I was wanting to do for a while, which is the full no breakup run. You do not break up with anyone.
Oh, yeah.
I was really glad that the game actually facilitated that, because for a while that felt very impossible because I would run up against Rebecca, who's like ostensibly the second person you could talk to, and she is just insistent on breaking up with you.
What's funny is, so that character is designed like, if you start the first one with Akane and you like, she's all about denial. So no matter what you tell her, she's gonna say like, no, you're joking. We belong together. We're fine. And it's just hard for you to break the news. Which,
sorry to interrupt, but I love a lot of her lines in that. Like when she says, "Do you want to go to Olive Garden?" and you could say, "Oh, I'm more of an Applebee's guy." She's like, "Oh, I love Applebee's."
Oh yeah, it's like no matter what you say, she's gonna find a way to make it still be a good thing. And yeah, so before any of them were named, they were all just written down as types of breakups.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so you had, like, the first one's denial, which is just, they're not going to believe it's happening. Then there's, Rebecca's was, I think, written down as old flame. Like, it was one that implied you had a lot of history together. Like, maybe you were not perfect, but the style there was, like, if you say that it's time to break up, she'll probably agree with you, but depending on how you present it, she'll get more upset. Like if you're very callous, she'll be like, "What? So this didn't mean anything to you?"
Right.
But if you show like that you care, she'll be like, "Oh well, I don't think we should stay together anyway." So like she's kind of doing the opposite of what you imply, but that's why she's a difficult one in the no breakups.
Yeah, she threw me for a loop a couple of times. I eventually got through that just by like stopping the game over again and just like playing through Akane over and over, because Akane is not hard.
No, not at all.
Akane takes a while though, because you really got to really insist. Hey, let's do it.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I messed up having that one be first, because there's really not a lot of like paths through it. It's just persistence.
Right.
So it's the least replayable, but it is the easiest.
Yeah. But with Rebecca, it's more like, you do like in most of the no breakup character like conversations, you gotta like find the option that's the least like breaking up. But with Rebecca, it's more like, oh, maybe we should be doing this, Maybe...
Yeah, you have to passively and like you have to suggest that you stay together.
And then like eventually, like the longer you go in that conversation of like saying that you want to break up, she's eventually like, you get into this weird tangled up conversation where you're like, but we had so much together. Yeah, I guess. And it's like, it's this like real fun exchange that eventually like played out in a very satisfying way.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm glad. I definitely like realized partway through that this wouldn't have the same impact if you couldn't also stay with all of them.
Right.
Which I think I learned from Undertale, where Toby Fox programmed in an entire combat system, which feel free to use it, and it's fully functional, but like that's not really I don't want to be prescriptive, but that is not why he made that game. He made the game to show you, I mean, also, I'm being presumptuous, but I think to show that you can talk your way out of any battle.
Right.
And that doesn't have any significance if there's also no way to fight them the way you could in any other RPG. So by including both options, both choices actually matter and give you some gravity.
And I think what's interesting to the like anti-visual novel thesis is when you go into all of these conversations, you and all of these characters already have history, where in most visual novels, it's like you are meeting these characters for the first time and you are building and learning this. So like while you're trying to do the gameplay mission, whatever, like you are like filling in these back details and you are actually learning a lot more about the relationship that you've had, which I thought was like a really cool way of presenting that kind of game.
Thank you. Yeah, that was definitely a choice where it's it's hard to write for that, because you want to let the player have as much role-playing ability as they can, and you don't want to like say this is exactly how your relationship with this character was, but by giving them enough details about how that character acts, and what they think of you and what they think of your time together, that should be enough to paint it so that you can still have the freedom you want to like believe that your relationship went this way, but also make them all distinct and individual.
I like when role-playing games though do that, where they like fill in the details of this character that you've made up on your own, like have you played Fallout New Vegas?
I love New Vegas. I was talked into playing that because I'm like lukewarm on Fallout in general, but that one was incredibly good. Yeah.
In the Lonesome Road DLC, a lot of that is interrogating the past of this character, and your character is responding to it in ways that are direct and not necessarily what you would pick, which is a very powerful thing to do from a storytelling perspective.
Yeah, and I feel like people would get upset that it's taking away some agency from your own role-playing. But also, like, there's only so much you could write with a blank slate.
And that's why that worked so well for me, is because, like, this is very designed to be a blank slate. You can go through that game not killing anyone, or you can, like, be a ravenous murderer, but you've still participated in the act of creating this one intersection that a lot of people were involved in, and then eventually wiping it out by, like, removing your presence from it, which is such an interesting way of navigating that kind of backstory. It's cool. I like that kind of stuff in games, and I like that Heartbreak High does it as well.
Yeah, Heartbreak High is as good as New Vegas. I've always said that.
They're up there. Yeah, they're like up there right next to each other for me.
There's two amazing perfect games. One of them, Fallout New Vegas, the other one, a little gem on Steam called Heartbreak High.
So, getting back to the game, like, which of the characters was the most fun for you to write?
Oh, that's a good question. I wish I had a list of all of them in front of me, but...
I have a list of most of them.
I know what it is. I loved Rad Brad.
Rad Brad's incredible.
Yeah, so there's something that happened with this game where I didn't want any character's orientation to be explicit.
Right.
And also, like, I didn't want to play it so that it's only women identifying characters, or like it's anybody. Your character was dating whoever was in the school, and it was regardless of their identity. And so that means, like, the way you're playing it, if I had playtesters come in who were male identifying and didn't straight male identifying, and then came up across the first, like, male character they'd have to run into in the game, and their reaction was always just like, "Oh, I'm dating a guy, okay," and then they moved on and kept playing, which was great. But a lot of it also, like, evolved into me making more characters androgynous. And I think Lee, the track runner, it's very intentionally unclear as to how they identify in the game. And Rad Brad, I use he, him pronouns for, but they have a very feminine look. And they're also, like, presented as the bad boy of the school.
Right.
And they're also a complete asshole, it's just a lot of fun to write that. And that puzzle's also the most satisfying puzzle for me to, like, have made in the game.
Right.
You did it, but I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it's just the first real wrench in the machine. You're not going to be sure exactly how to break up with Rad Brad because the rules are slightly broken here. And there was so much work gone into, like, just writing that character and rewriting their lines to hint the player towards what they're supposed to do.
I will say, like, one of the most fun things about that puzzle is already knowing the solution and then going into that conversation immediately and then solving it.
Yeah, you can immediately do it.
It's great.
Which is maybe, like, not the best design, but it is a lot of fun to go back to and just decimate him.
Rad Brad's great.
Oh, because Rad Brad, I liked him so much I added a comeback for him.
Yes, I loved that.
If you can successfully break up with Rad Brad the first time you meet him, there's, like, right before the final boss, you get a second a revenge story.
Very great. Just great execution on that.
Thank you. Yeah, you would not believe how, like, it's hard to talk about without spoiling it, but essentially it introduces, like, a new mechanic, a new gameplay mechanic that's really only in play for Rad Brad, and people could not figure it out until I made it. Like, I couldn't make it too clear, because then the puzzle would be easy. But I think I hit the sweet spot where, like, people have told me it's their favorite puzzle in the game.
That's the ethos I see with a lot of the character interactions. Is you go into some of them and you have this really unexpected puzzle or minigame pop up, and it's only for their interactions.
That's a lot of the makeout minigame gets used twice, I think.
Yes. I forget the name of the guy you do it with.
Oh, Yuri, yeah.
Yuri, yeah. Like, Yuri's interactions are so varied in a way that's really cool, because you can immediately blast through that character both ways, like in the breakup way and in the non-breakup way, but you miss everything great you can do in that interaction. And there's, like, a full makeout. It's excellent.
Yeah, that one was, like, the most heartbreaking for me to write, because it's like I know that people will just steamroll right past it. But so just for, like, some insight. Like I said, every character had a 1-word or 2-word like description before I named them as to what their breakup was. His was just pushover.
Right.
And even when you first like meet him, he's like, "I'll do whatever you say." Like, I think the first thing he says, like, "What do you want to do today? Whatever you say, let's do it." And then the first thing you can say is, "Let's break up," and he'll just be like, "Okay."
He says, "Okay," and then it's over.
Which is like, it's a joke to make it that easy, but it's actually pretty difficult because if you're properly guilted, one of the next lines is like, shouldn't you be putting up more of a fight? And if you say that, then it becomes very difficult to get out of it again.
I like that encounter a lot.
Thank you. Yeah, Yuri's a lot of fun. It was just this, I wanted a big buff muscly guy in there too.
Honestly, like, when I was doing the non-breakup thing and I discovered you could make out with him, I was so happy about that.
Yeah, that was part of it too, is because there was only one makeout game, and it was with Morgan, who was written as the honeypot, which is just you have a lot of sexual chemistry, so
yeah,
they try to seduce you into staying. And so that one, it made a lot of sense to include that makeout minigame. But then I was like, well, I wanna split that a little more. I want to give someone else the opportunity to also make out with you.
Morgan probably has one of my favorite bits in the game where
what is it?
You can drop a pencil.
Yeah, you did that? That's fun.
Yeah, you can drop a pencil and she'll be like, "You want me to pick it up for you?" And then you could be like, "No, okay, I got it." And then you can just go. It goes off in all these, you can choose all these different directions to go, but my favorite is just getting back up and saying, "No, I didn't need it."
I forgot about that joke. That's good.
It's real good.
The makeout minigame actually came from an older game I made.
Yeah?
It's playable online for free at the teenagers.company, which was some like art project where I did like a monthly internet art piece with some friends, depending on a prompt. And one of them was Become Our Product. It was just a game about like Mountain Dew Kickstart fusing with Dasani water bottles, and
that's good.
One of them was just like, there was some weird makeout thing in there that was the same artwork, and I lifted it wholesale into Heartbreak High because nobody played that game. So.
One of my favorite things about that minigame as well is if you are trying to break up with everyone, like, you're not doing the actual puzzle that it's trying to get you to do, which is like, make out with them really well. You're trying to avoid them making out with you.
Yeah, it's got a scoring thing, and you can just dodge their tongue the whole time. It's like a French kiss makeout minigame for anyone who hasn't played it. You control one tongue, and you have to match your tongue with theirs.
I did find out if your mouse goes beyond the bounds of the screen, your tongue also does.
Wait, what? In what way?
It just goes completely into their mouth, and you could just scroll up and down the whole way. So that's your pro strat in case you're trying to do that.
That's for the speedrunners.
So I want to talk a little bit about an encounter that I think is a little bit hard to navigate. I don't remember his name, but it's the character who had just lost their father.
Oh my god, yeah. This was I almost didn't include the last 2 breakups in this, but
yeah, I think we should talk about it a little bit before I get into why I think they're important to include.
But yeah, so this character, his name's Brandon, and the difficulty definitely raises as you play through each. There's like batches of breakups you can do in each round, and you do have to go through all of them, but you can always pick the order. And then the last 2 are they are just the worst. Because Brandon's is based entirely around, it was called bad timing in the notes phase, and it's just supposed to be, it's the worst time for you to break up with somebody.
Right.
And right off the bat, you are given the option to just say, "Hey, I'm breaking up with you," or you can notice that he's upset, and you can ask him about it, and you discover that his father just died, and now you have to navigate this emotional minefield while also trying to break up with him.
And it's like, you can get out of that conversation, breaking up with him, pretty well. It can turn out pretty decently.
Oh, there's a perfect outcome for that. Perfect being relative.
But there's so many ways that it breaks bad, and it breaks bad, really harshly. Whenever I replay the game, or when I'm, trying to show the game to someone else, that's the point where a lot of people tend to be like, I don't know about this, because it dips into the real in a way that's so jarring.
Oh shit. Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I think there's that interaction, and then there's the one with the janitor.
That's harder for me. That one,
Yeah.
well, I want to hear what you have to say about it. Yeah.
I was just gonna like briefly say, like, you're trying to break off your student-janitor relationship, which means you're trying to get the janitor fired for some reason.
Yeah.
Which is like a very silly concept, but when you're already on the path of destruction, it doesn't end. But it's like, those two together are like a really good 1-2 punch of like, you've been through all of this so far, it's very bittersweet in a lot of ways. Like, it's fun, it's a funny game, but you can't help but have this like tinge of like, you know, I feel shitty about this. And then you get to these two one after the other, and it's like, oh, it really fucking sinks you.
Yeah, that's intentional. It's supposed to really drain you emotionally at the end.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's, the right way to have taken this game, but
Right.
I had trouble just leaving the game on the table without exploring some of the harsher cuts you can get into.
Because as a premise, it's like, it's dark. Like, it's not something you want to go through. But trying to like present it in a way that's like, you know, fun and comedic.
It's at least funny for a while.
Yeah.
You can feel bad for a lot of the characters, and you probably will if you have a heart, but like that's part of it too. Is this is nothing like Hotline Miami, but Hotline Miami is a game that I don't necessarily even think is like all that great from a story perspective.
Right.
But it's definitely taking the idea of like, okay, well, why do you just blindly do what the game's goals tell you to do? And in that case, they're talking about violence in video games. Like, why are you just killing everybody? And then the game gets partway through, and it's like, well, let's think about this. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know if they're making like the most cohesive point about violence. It's definitely interesting, but I do feel like it's fun to turn the mirror back around on the player.
Yeah, there's an interesting player versus objective tension there that I think is very neat.
And that's what the janitor is. Like, that his whole thing is asking you why you're doing what you're doing. And I can't write why I think the player can just like why how they're justifying what they're doing,
right?
But he can at least ask the questions that somebody might ask them, and so they're hard to answer.
And there really is no justification for it except for this is the game that I'm playing.
Ooh, that's some people will take that route where the game. There's like a couple points in this where I made it a little meta where I kind of regret doing it, but there are parts where you can break the cohesion and be like, oh yeah, I'm playing a video game, that's why I'm doing this.
Right.
But I did that because, like, if you are just playing it and you're not that into the role playing, that is why you're doing it. And I wanted the player to be able to be honest.
And he fights you on that, doesn't he?
I can't remember. That was the most difficult one to write because while writing it, I couldn't come up with a satisfying way to I couldn't come up with a realistic way to convince the janitor to quit his job.
Right.
Because he lays it on thick. It's all guilt trippy too. He's like, I have daughters. This is my only job. I don't make a lot of money. I need to feed my daughters, and I'm not going to quit because some kid wants to break up with everyone in the school. And so, like, once you write that, there's no way out.
Yeah.
And so it becomes a thing of, like, you don't need to break up with everybody to win the game.
No.
Because the final boss, I think the way the final boss is set up is, as long as you have at least, like, 8 or 9 of the 13 breakups, you have a possibility of being able to beat the final boss. It just gets easier the more breakups you've done.
Yeah.
So with the janitor, it's set up to be like, okay, if you really want to finish this game with the perfect score, you need to start being really shitty.
Yeah.
And, I mean... there's a way out, and it'll work.
And it sucks.
It sucks. Yeah, it does suck. Because at least with Brandon, you can talk your way out of it, but for the janitor, there's no happy ending unless you just give up.
Which, you know, when I played it, I went for a full breakup.
Yeah.
And let me tell you.
Yeah.
Don't feel great about that.
It's draining. Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, no, it's fine. Listen, I'm okay with games that do that to me.
Oh,
I'm
me too.
all on board with, like, emotionally draining experiences.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted this game to be. It was emotionally draining. Because that's fun. It's like you project so much into a game. Like I think we've both been playing Fire Emblem lately.
Yeah.
And like, listen, that is a game where just by sheer volume of how much you're going to be hearing these characters talk, you will grow to care about them.
Right.
And like, they do some really interesting stuff with, if you have permadeath on, like with getting attached to characters and making you feel awful about how you have to interact with them in war, which is like, that's great. That's something games can do that a lot of other mediums can't, where like, if you're reading a book, you can get attached to a character, but you don't have a lot of say in what happens to them, so you don't feel personally responsible.
In a book, you can't just say, oh, I hate this character, I wish they were gone.
Yeah, you can't just ignore Lorenz in a book for the entire 40-hour playthrough of your book.
Oh, that guy.
That guy.
You played through Golden Deer, right?
No, God, no. I don't like Claude at all. I was a Blue Lions guy.
Oh, you were Blue Lions? Really?
I was Blue Lions. I wanted to do Black Eagles, and I kind of wish I did, but I was really won over. Well, the only people I liked in Black Eagles were Hubert and Dorothea.
Oh.
I loved most of the cast of Blue Lions, so I went with them.
Let me tell you, the cast of Black Eagles is incredible.
Well, I ended up loving them. Yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah, they're great.
I met them throughout the game, and I've recruited a bunch of them.
I became a Bernie bro through this game. So I went through the game doing the full breakups. I did no breakups, and they both have their own endings, which I thought was very fun. I know that there is a secret ending in the game that I have not found.
I will just tell you about it, because even if I describe it, people won't find it.
Okay.
I do know at least one person on Twitter messaged me with proof that they found it, which I am floored. I kind of included it as like, it's a thing for me, but the amount of work that went into it is insane. Nobody should do this much work for something nobody will see, which might just be a metaphor for the game itself. But I included like myself as a breakup.
Really?
And it's like a photorealistic version of me. It's just poses of me. Yeah, so the way that it can be accessed, I think it's during the first hall monitor encounter. There's like 3 conditions you have to check, and the first one starts there. Then it's when he asks you why you're doing this. I think it might not even be during the hall monitor. I truly can't remember. But someone asks you why you're doing this, and you tell them it's a video game, like one of those meta choices, and then you keep like doubling down on that until I appear and I say, "Come on, hey, like." This is a game. Don't tell the characters they're in a game. I'm doing that.
Shit, that's great.
Thanks. And then you can talk to me, and I like send you back into the game. But before you go back to the game, you can say like, "Hey, I want to break up with you," and I'll be like, "You can't do that." And then you can keep doubling down on that, and then I eventually like say, "Okay, fine. If you do this, I'll date you, or I'll let you break up with me." And then like from there it gets even harder to like figure out what I mean, because I leave some cryptic riddle, and then you have to go solve the second part, and then there's a third one. And then if you do all of that when the game's over, there's like a full breakup with me.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to begin trying to chase down that breadcrumb trail.
I know. I don't even remember. That's the thing. Like I've tried to like reactivate it and I'll still mess it up.
You don't have the notes anywhere of like how do I date and break up with myself?
So this is a good time to also talk about how these were all written too.
Sure.
Because I want to really drive home how much extra work it was to write another breakup.
Right.
Because I will say like the game itself, aside from like the mini games, the engine is pretty much just a dialogue tree, and I had never made one of those before, but like it's really just a choose your own adventure book. Like it's message here. Choose choice 1 through 4. If you choose 2, go to message 89. If you choose choice 4 there, go to message 129. Like, it just jumps around.
Right.
Literally like a choose your own adventure book. And each breakup is their own full choose your own adventure book.
Right.
And like, it's
a Twine game, yeah.
It's essentially a Twine game, and I wrote it in Twine.
Ooh.
So
nice.
All the paths themselves were written in Twine and then ported over into my engine.
Oh, that's cool.
Because Twine was just like a really good visual tool to see all the flowcharts of each conversation. So if I open up my Twine on my computer, there's like maybe a couple of small games I was making in there, then just like a different entry for every breakup in Heartbreak High. And yeah, those were the bulk of the development actually, because like aside from like once the engine was written, I could just kind of copy and paste it essentially for each character.
Right.
So most of the work that went into this was just each of these breakups, and then doing a whole extra one for no reason was insane.
Let me tell you, as someone who is currently writing on a game, it is a daunting task, so I feel you.
And do you have like dialogue trees in here? Do you have like choices?
We're not doing dialogue tree. It's an RPG, so what we're doing is like it's like a linear, straightforward RPG. So what we're doing is like we have an in-engine dialogue creator that we're just like typing in the dialogue that we want, and then we're like spitting out the code for it, and then like we send it to the dev and he puts it in. But like that comes along with us like essentially needing to come up with a lot of content to fit all of that. It's a lot. It's an interesting system that I don't know is standard. I'm pretty sure it's not.
I mean, mine wasn't either. I think people just have to like figure out what works best for their especially you're working with multiple people. I was just by myself.
Right.
But yeah, like I could not rein myself in because like if you're being smart about writing this branching dialogue, you would limit how many times it splits and how many complete possible different like I don't know conversations you could have with these characters would be. You just want to make sure like there's not too many because every time you branch, you multiply how many completely extra dialogue trees you have to write.
Right.
And I just every single choice would lead to another like 600 line thing. It felt like that's exaggerated, but like I was just not letting myself pare it down at all.
I think it shows. I love when games do that. I know it can be a little unhealthy, but I do love when games like provide all of these extra options that like you most likely won't see, but it does. But it increases replayability like so hard when you're used to the way of talking to this person because you talked to them before, but then you're trying, okay, let's see what this dialogue does, and then you're going in these different directions.
Yeah, you'll be like surprised how many you can have like completely different conversations with these characters. Right. If you just click one wrong thing. And it's funny to like think about, okay, I should emphasize which ones people are more likely to click on. There's some that I forget are even in the game because even when I replay, I don't even think to click. And I'm like, oh my God, I wrote like an entire extra 5-minute conversation that I haven't seen since I first wrote it.
Right.
Which makes it hard to play test too.
First playthrough too is the one where you kind of get the most experimental. And then when you go back and like try and navigate these other situations, it becomes a little bit harder to branch out because you're used to, you know what works and you're used to like trying to go that way. And then you like are less likely to take this other thing, which is a little wild because I swear that the first time I had a conversation with Principal Hashmi where you try to break up with your principal-student relationship, I swear I ended that, or at least got into a part with that, where I where you can just say like, eat this, and then you flip them off, and then you leave.
Yeah, you can do that, yeah.
I have never been able to find that again.
So yeah, that's like one of my favorite things in video games is when there's something that you cannot believe they put in the game and you feel like you're the only person who saw it.
Right.
And it's like a way to make something feel really special when like you alone know that, okay, that was extra. They did not need to include that. But there's a whole thing. There's an extra art asset in this game, and it's for the hall monitor, because he's usually wearing this hall monitor outfit. But he has a whole different set of artwork.
Really?
Yeah, and so the way you get it... which is like, it's funny that I put this work in and I still don't remember how to activate it. You can talk him out of being a hall monitor.
What?
And
I have no idea.
Yeah, so like part of the way the hall monitor is set up in the game, just to reiterate for someone who hasn't played it, is he is like he's on a power trip, and you can break up with him, but then you're going to see him again in the hallways later, and he's going to make your life really hard. Or you can stay with him and then you get free access through the halls. So those are the two like options that are pretty clear, I think, when you're playing. But there's a third option, this diplomacy option, where you're like, hey, maybe what you're doing isn't healthy. Your power trip is irresponsible of you. You're being you're being manipulative. So why don't you put down the sash and go back to being a regular student? And then like the next time you see him, he'll be in like civilian clothes and just thank you for like talking him out of it, and then you just get to walk right past.
Wow.
So that's like the best ending for him. Yeah.
I've never found that. That's so cool.
I don't remember how to get to it. I can pull up the Twine file and see what it was, but
it's
like,
fine. Let people find it.
Yeah.
Oh man. Heartbreak High, cool game. It's I really enjoy. I have, let's check. I have a total of, it says 2 hours. I don't know if that's true. I think it's a little over 2 hours, like maybe 2.5.
I mean, 2's a lot. It's a 40-hour playthrough per game. Yeah, I mean,
40 hour? Really?
40 minute, sorry. Wow.
I enjoyed the 2 hours I've spent with this game over the last year and a half.
I think that's a healthy number, don't worry.
I'm glad I have so much to say about it, or like, have so much that I have like thought about it for such a short game. It's worth it.
Oh yeah, that's high praise.
I was very sensitive to it when I first played it because I was actually I like just broke up with my boyfriend at the time.
Oh, wow.
And I was listening to a lot of the final song of Joanna Newsom's album Have One On Me, which is like such a dark breakup song. So it's like,
oh, you were
like
primed for this. Yeah.
Oh, it was just, it all coalesced in a way that was like, oh, it killed me.
Both of my exes did playtests of this game.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you get any interesting feedback?
No. Well, yeah, but like, I mean, not like the juicy kind you're thinking of. They just played the game at face value, and we were talking about it. But because it's not like, what's weird is it's not a very personal breakup game for me. Like, there's definitely I drew from what I do know about breakups and what I've been through. But both of the big breakups I've had in my life were very amicable on both ends, and I'm still friends with them. So I'm definitely like just drawing from intuition for the rest of these.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them feel kind of stereotypical, but there are other times when it's like, yeah, I've done this breakup before. This is it's a little harsh.
No, it's like, even if they're not really like a breakup, like they're still relatable in that you have to deal with people like that sometimes. Like, everyone's dealt with somebody who's in denial and you have to like tell them the truth, whether it's a breakup or something else. So like that first one is, that's a hit. I'm looking at the special thanks list. When I made this show, or when I made this game, I was working on a show at Absolutely called Ghost Story Club.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so when you're like doing office work on a show, what could end up happening is once the show's all delivered and it's shot and they're just either editing it or whatever, there's not a lot of work left to do, but they still need somebody on to like administrate paperwork and paychecks and just look over the editors. And so like you end up not having a lot to do for like maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And I just was in the office at Abso working on this game pretty obviously, and having everyone there play test it. So most of the play testers are like people from Abso who I pulled away from like working on a Tim and Eric show or whatever. Like, hey, can you try this breakup sim?
Do you have like any final notes on like Heartbreak High? Like anything you've been waiting to get off your chest that you haven't been able to say?
That's a great question. I mean, I think I'm happy with it. Like it was a small game. I did what I wanted to with it. There's a few things I would change. There's a few things I would polish, but no, I'm very happy with it. And people just like keep discovering it and getting in contact with me, and I'm thrilled every time. Yeah, there were just there's a batch of animators on Twitter that like posted it, and I'm not going to say it went viral, but it got a lot of retweets.
Nice.
And it was nice seeing like the game get a little second wind there for a second.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been good to me.
So any other like can we expect any like big game projects in the wins?
Yeah, you should.
Oh hell yeah.
I have a few ideas that I thought I would get into after making this game, and I've taken a long break from game dev for the last year or so. I feel like, when did this game come out? 2 years ago even?
Heartbreak High? It was last year.
Was it last year? Wow. Okay. So it hasn't been that long. Good.
No.
Okay, so there's a mini game or a breakup in Heartbreak High, the one with the track runner Lee.
Right.
Which I think
is
like,
that one's really fun actually. Like,
thank you. Yeah, that's like the best I think in the game.
It's really easy to get tripped up on, but I found myself like the game already puts the pressure of the timer on you, but like needing the pressure of like seeing what's up here on the top of the screen, and then the pressure of I want to make sure I don't click the wrong thing at the bottom is such a really interesting interplay that I didn't expect to happen.
That was maybe the best, like the maximum, the peak version of the gameplay is like, okay, so you're making choices with a time limit, like, because the final boss, every choice is like a 5-second countdown you can add to, but that particular breakup is you're doing a mini game at the same time, and having to quickly, like, it very, I think, accurately emulates the idea of like trying to run and keep up with someone while having a conversation, because you have to multitask. And so out of that, like, I was originally like, the next game I made, I wanted to be very different from this.
Gotcha.
But I can't shy away from, like, I love doing dialogue tree stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the dumb things I came up with was I see someone's making a game similar to this, but the idea is you're like a futuristic Lyft driver.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of games like that out right now.
Yeah, well, bummer. But listen, this one would have been killer. You're doing the dialogue trees the same way as Heartbreak High, but you're also trying to like follow directions through a GPS at the same time.
Oh, that's great, actually.
So yeah, so like you're trying to multitask in that regard. And then I think the way I wanted to do it was like I have a lot of comedian friends out here, and I would just cast them all and do like FMV games, like full motion video of
that's good.
Everybody actually being the people in the car, your passengers.
I like that. That's an interesting take on it. The other two big ones right now where it's like you're a cab driver and you're talking to people are like there's one that's like very self-serious and is like trying to present this weird cyberpunk dystopia where you're just...
I saw a trailer for that one.
Yeah, you're just this driver and you're learning about people's lives. Then the other one is like you're an actual cab driver who's trying to solve like a noir mystery while talking to these people, and it's like, you know, this is a much different take on it.
No, mine would be incredibly stupid. I think I was gonna I think I really was gonna intentionally go for like a Command and Conquer cutscene level of like...
I love that.
I love that, actually. Low budget sci-fi stuff, and then just people in the car with those like goofy goggles with the neon lights on them, and just take me to the spire, like, or just like ravers getting in your car. I don't know. There's no progress made on this, but
expect it 2025. Yeah.
I also wanted to do...
It'll be the year it comes out when it comes out.
Oh shit! Yeah, I gotta set it in the same year.
Yeah.
That's a good motivator, is you say like, all right, my game takes place in 2025 and like I gotta finish it before then or else it's not a sci-fi game. I also wanted to do a Mega Man Battle Network style game. I keep going back to that. I just, not because I want to make it, but because I just want to play one that isn't Mega Man Battle Network. Someone's got to make a roguelike that's just Battle Network mechanics. Those are so fun.
Man. I bet you could search for that right now and there's something. Who knows?
I know, but is it worth my time? Yeah, probably. It might be.
There's a lot of games. Games keep happening, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. They're going to stop soon.
God, I hope. We're getting close to an hour. Were there like any other major projects you wanted to talk about? Like anything else about Heartbreak High that you felt went untouched?
I did have one thing I wrote down for Heartbreak High.
Ooh.
Some stuff in Heartbreak. I have the original doodles for all the characters before they ended up in the game.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'm looking through them now, and there's a bunch that like didn't make it in. They were much more like high school archetypes when I first wrote these.
Mm-hmm.
Like I see there's one that's just the new kid, there's the popular kid, the stoner. Like these are all like so boring now to look at. But because it eventually morphed, like once I started making the games, like, oh, they can't be archetypes, they need to be like breakup types.
Right.
But there's some good designs here, and I'm like, Brad is in this lineup, but a much different design. Oh, a really good one is there's swingers. There was going to be like a poly couple you could break up with.
Oh, that's great.
And then there's another, like, it's like a full metal band.
Those would be good. I would love that.
One of them just says ex-Vine star Danny.
He's on TikTok now.
Yeah, he's on TikTok. I have a robot here, and then there's one that did make it into the game, but not as a breakup, but the class hamster was going to be in.
Interesting.
But he's now, like, he gives you tips. Now he's in the game just wandering around. But the hamster was, I just couldn't figure out how to do a breakup with a hamster. But the idea made me laugh.
It's a good concept.
Thanks. But I think that's it, yeah.
Anything you wanted to plug?
Yes. Please go to mariology.world and watch my web series Mariology that I did with my friends Heather and Lexi, and we go through every single Mario game, every single one. There's like 118 or whatever, and we figure out what order they take place in, like an actual timeline.
You were inspired by the Zelda timeline, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like because the Zelda timeline like doesn't need to exist,
right?
And it makes a little bit of sense, but as soon as you like start staring into it, you're like, oh, but this doesn't track. Or like, I thought Minish Cap is about the origin of Link's hat, and then that takes place after Skyward Sword, and then he has a hat in that game. Like, it falls apart so quickly, and the only thing dumber than a Zelda timeline is one for Mario, which, like, the continuity is changing every game. Characters are being introduced and removed at a moment's notice. but we go through every single one and try to force them all onto a cohesive timeline. And there's like 10 episodes, 30 minutes each.
I did want to say the production on that is like kind of wild. Every time I think about the amount of work that went into ostensibly you sitting around with your friends for a few hours,
yeah,
it's
it's insane.
mind-boggling.
That's part of the fun. I had like my friend Sean build an entire set. We cut out like box art for every single game, and we put like a conspiracy corkboard there. We had a crew of, I want to say like 10 or 12 people.
Yeah.
All just helping me out with this dumb thing. We had to shoot it. Oh, we shot it on the Absolutely stages too, which like in between any actual TV productions, we just snuck in there in January and we're like, let's just do this for the day.
It was like all one take.
It was literally, it wasn't one take, but it was 1 6-hour shoot. And
right. Oh, wow.
We had like one lunch break in the middle.
Hey, trust me, by the end of that series, you can feel it.
Yeah, if you're watching it, you can tell we're getting more and more exhausted. We get like a second wind at some point. We lose all energy and interest, which I think is like really funny. Like, I'm glad, like, I was very much what I hoped would happen, but
right.
It's very funny. I think it's worth everyone's time if you like Mario and you want to, like, people said it was also educational for them. Like, I didn't know this game existed. I have a dumb encyclopedic knowledge of Mario games, so I barely even needed to do any research.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's bad.
What's like the most obscure thing about Mario that you know?
That's, if you watch the show, you'll probably hear me say like 90 things. You'll be like, why does a human know that? What is the most obscure thing? I couldn't tell you. It's all in there.
No, that's fine.
But
watch the show to find out.
Yeah, that's my pitch. I say too many things that a human shouldn't know about Mario. Well, because I got like, there's one part where Heather asserts that there was the book from Paper Mario is in Mario Galaxy.
Right.
Just very politely, it isn't. It's not there. It's not in the game. And she challenged me on it for like 30 minutes, and I get so mad, and it's not good, but it makes for great, entertaining web series content.
And you had someone there to like fact check it, but how do you fact check that?
Oh, well, yeah, you can't, like, that's the thing is there's only so much. So we had Sean who built the set dressed as Luigi. We're all dressed as Mario, and then anytime we need to fact check something, we cut to Luigi, who's just off stage with a computer.
Right. All right, this has been fun.
Oh yeah, it has. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll maybe do it again sometime. We'll see how many huge stars I can get on, and we'll get back around to you.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll make a new game, and then we'll talk about that one.
Yeah.
What's the name of this podcast?
Oh, okay. So this is the interesting part. This is called the Starlight Car. It was originally going to be the Starlight Parlor, but the people I'm working with are like, that doesn't make sense. I mean, we're going for like a train theme of like, each
podcast is a train on the,
yeah. And this one, my idea for this one's like, it's laid back, just chill out. It's nice. It's like a little bit fancy, but it's relaxing. And it's like, I looked up a whole bunch of like different facts about trains and like where do people relax? They relax in parlor cars. What's like a famous parlor car? Oh, here's this one. It's like the something Starlight. So I'm like, I'm gonna call it the Starlight Parlor.
That's
and they were like,
good.
this makes no sense at all.
I mean, they're not wrong, but it's still good.
I just hope somebody enjoys that.
I did.
Cool. We got it. One.
Just the one you needed.
All right. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
See you again sometime.
Yeah. Play Heartbreak High on Steam.
It's $5.
Or buy it on itch.io. I think I get more money that way. And Steam's kind of evil.
Have you gotten the Epic exclusive yet?
They're knocking on my door, pal.
Oh, no. Okay.